Hi, my name is Rachel and you're watching the Rachelistic channel. Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel. So I have been trying to do this video for a year now. So last year in January of 2022, I wrote in my planner that I was going to do a video on alexithymia, and well, I'm sure you can guess what happened. It kept getting pushed forward each month, and now here we are in January of 2023 and I'm finally doing this video. So if you can't guess already from the title and my little spiel, today's video is on alexithymia. I find it a pretty interesting topic, so if you want to learn more, just keep watching. So alexithymia was first coined in 1973 by the psychotherapist Peter Emanuel Sifnios, which I hope I'm saying that right. It comes from Greek words meaning no words for emotion. That's basically what alexithymia is, but it's also more than just not having words for your emotions. So the definition of alexithymia is the inability to recognize emotions and their subtleties and textures. And so there are 4 key features to alexithymia. The first is having difficulty identifying your feelings. The second is having difficulty describing your feelings to other people. The third is having a rigid or limited imagination. And the fourth is having an externally oriented thinking style. So that basically just means that you think more about what's happening around you and like outside of you rather than what's happening inside of you. So you are rarely thinking about how you feel or what you're thinking or like what's going on inside of your body. You're thinking more about what's going on around you, outside of your body, what other people are doing, I don't know. But you don't really think about like things inside your head or inside your body. And so along with the 4 key features, there are also 2 dimensions of alexithymia. So the first is the cognitive dimension. So that focuses on like struggling to identify, interpret, and verbalize your feelings. So that really deals with like the thinking part of your emotional experience. And the second dimension is the affective dimension. And so that focuses on difficulties with reacting, expressing, feeling, and imagining. So that's more of the experiencing part of your emotional experience. So the cognitive dimension is all about the thinking processes that kind of go on while you're trying to identify what emotion it is that you're feeling, whereas the affective dimension deals more with how you use your emotions, or like how you express them, how you experience them, what you do with them. Yeah. So yeah, those are the 2 dimensions. And so what does alexithymia look like? What does it look like when someone has alexithymia? I'm pretty sure I just said the same thing twice, but okay. So here are some examples of kind of what it can look like. So one example is having difficulty identifying your different types of feelings. So that can look like literally not knowing what it is that you're feeling, or it could be like confusing the signs of your emotions for something else. So for example, like if you're feeling nervous and you have like butterflies in your stomach, you would confuse those butterflies in your stomach for like being hungry. Another example is having a limited understanding of what causes your feelings. So you don't really know what leads to you feeling these different feelings and emotions. So like if you are feeling a certain emotion, like you don't know what caused you to feel that way. Another example is having difficulty expressing your feelings. So you're not really sure how to, or it's not really that you don't know how to, but if you like are feeling happy or sad or something, you don't really express it. Like it's not like people can't really tell that you're happy or sad or angry. You just kind of look the same all the time. Or expressing also can be like you don't know how to like say what it is that you're feeling. Also, it could be that too. So another example is having difficulty recognizing facial cues in others. What this means is like you may be able to like identify like different facial expressions that people have, but you don't know how to, or you don't really know like what they mean or like how to interpret that. So one of the articles that I read for this video talked about like a study that they did with people who are alexithymic, and so they were able to identify like the difference between like a smile and a frown. Like they could say that this one looks different from this one, but they weren't able to say that this one is a smile and this one is a frown, if you know what I mean. Like they don't know kind of like what a smile means and what a frown means. They know that they look different, but they don't know what they mean or like how to interpret that. So that's what having difficulty recognizing facial cues in others kind of means. Like you see a facial expression, but you don't know how to interpret it, so you don't know like how to react to it also. So yeah. Some other examples are having a limited or rigid imagination. And the next example kind of goes along with that, which is having a constricted style of thinking. So it's kind of like you're kind of closed-minded, which I don't know. I don't think people like being called closed-minded, but like you have a very specific way of thinking, and if things don't fit in the way that you think, you would probably like disregard it or like not consider it or be open to it. Another example is being hypersensitive to physical sensations, which I didn't know was a part of alexithymia until I was researching for this video. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. If you are very sensitive to like physical touch or just like physical sensations, then yeah, it could be a part of alexithymia. And so the last example is having a detached or tentative connection to others. And so basically that could be like you're very reserved or guarded when it comes to other people. It takes a really long time for people to, or for you to open up to people. Yeah, you're just very like reserved and guarded. So those are the examples of what alexithymia can look like. So what causes alexithymia? So there are a few different things that can cause alexithymia. Some of them are related to each other, some are not related to each other, but there's like at least like 3 different causes of alexithymia. So the first is experiencing trauma and neglect in childhood. That can increase a person's chances, I guess, of having alexithymia when they're older. Going through trauma and neglect in childhood can definitely, like, I guess, hinder your ability to process and understand your emotions. And so when you're older, you just don't have that ability, I guess, and you're alexithymic. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Another cause is genetics. So yeah, there is a genetic component to alexithymia. So, you know, if your parent or grandparents or something has alexithymia, if there's a chance that you could have it, or your siblings or your kids could also have alexithymia. So there is a genetic component to it as well, which, yeah, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of that. But basically, like, that could also be related to like trauma. Like sometimes people have like the genetics for something, but it's not like activated unless something happens in their environment. Like you could have the genetics for alexithymia, but because you didn't go through childhood trauma, you don't have alexithymia. But somebody, but like, anyways, whatever. I don't think I'm gonna put this in the video, but that's how genetics work. Anyways, the third cause, I guess, of alexithymia is brain damage. So certain types of brain damage can cause alexithymia, particularly damage to the insula causes alexithymia. So the insula is like responsible for receiving interoceptive signals, and so basically it helps with being able to tell like what's going on inside of your body, like being able to identify and interpret like what's going on in your body. If you get damage to that part of your brain, then that can lead to alexithymia because you're no longer able to like interpret your like emotions based on like what you're feeling inside your body. So going back to the example of feeling nervous, so if you have damage to that part of your brain, you wouldn't be able to tell that like the butterfly in your stomach is you being nervous anymore. You would just feel it and you'd be like, I don't know what's going on inside my body. So those are the causes of alexithymia. Now we're going to move on to talking about the types of people that I guess can have alexithymia. So 1 in 10 people are on the alexithymia spectrum. So that's 10% of the population is alexithymic. So that's kind of a lot of people. And you probably know somebody who is alexithymic. But more specifically, the types of people that generally have alexithymia are autistic people, people who have depression, schizophrenia, and somatoform disorders. So somatoform disorders, if you don't know, are a group of psychiatric disorders that cause unexplained physical symptoms. So for example, like it could be like a person who maybe like, I don't know, feels like a shooting pain in their leg every day, but it's like there's no, like they never hurt themselves or like did anything that would cause them having a shooting pain in their leg every day. It's just like their brain is making that shooting pain in their leg every day. So that's kind of like a somatoform disorder. So those are the types of people that can have alexithymia. So as I just said, autistic people can have alexithymia, and about half of autistic people have alexithymia as well. So it's very common in the autistic community, or for autistic people, I guess, to have alexithymia as well. As I was doing the research for this video, I learned some interesting information about autism and alexithymia. So one of the like stereotypes of autism is that autistic people don't have empathy, or we struggle with empathy, and that's not entirely true. Like, yes, some autistic people struggle with empathy, but not all autistic people struggle with empathy. And so in learning more about alexithymia, I learned that people with alexithymia struggle with empathy as well. The reason for that is because they can't understand and identify and interpret their own emotions, like it's extra difficult for them to be able to like understand and like relate to other people's emotions. So that's kind of why they struggle with empathy. And so researchers who study autism and alexithymia have actually found that the autistic people who do struggle with empathy typically have alexithymia, and so the struggle with empathy is an alexithymic thing. It's not an autistic thing. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and so yeah, if you didn't know that, now you know that. Struggles with empathy are because of alexithymia and not because of autism. So yeah. So finally, I'm gonna talk about some tips and treatments that were suggested to help with alexithymia. So the main goal of treatments, I guess, for alexithymia is to strengthen your ability to identify and understand your feelings. And so some of the things suggested were journaling. So not just like writing what you did every day, but like journaling the things that are going on inside your head. Even though if you have alexithymia, then you probably struggle with like identifying what's going on in your head, but just kind of writing down your thoughts can help understand kind of what you're feeling a little bit better. Another thing that was suggested was reading novels, so like fictional novels, and that can really help with like learning to understand emotions better, because you can like read like descriptions of it, especially if it's in like the first person point of view. You can like read it as they are experiencing them, so that can help with understanding kind of how emotions might feel and work. Another thing that was suggested was practicing some expressive arts, so things like acting, dancing, art, music, movement therapy. All of those things can help with learning how to like express your emotions. Some skill-based psychotherapy treatments were also suggested. So things like dialectical behavior therapy, cognitive mindfulness training, and short-term interpersonal therapy. Those things were suggested to help. They help with just, understanding or learning how to identify your emotions and feelings better. Group psychotherapy was also suggested for specifically helping with like empathy and like learning how to like identify with other people's emotions that they might be feeling. And then finally, the last thing that was suggested was hypnosis and relaxation training. And so, yeah, that's just another thing that could help with learning to identify your emotions and understanding more about what's going on in your head and in your body. So, yes. So that's everything that I have to say on alexithymia. I hope that you learned some new information. And if you think that you might have alexithymia, then I encourage you to do more research. It's always important to do more research so that you can understand things better. And I especially encourage you to watch videos or read blogs or something of other people that have alexithymia as well, because that can really help with understanding kind of what it looks like in a person. But yeah, so that brings us to the end of this video. If you liked it, then please hit the like button so that it can spread to more people. If you have anything you want to say, if you have any questions, or if you're alexithymic and you want to share a bit about what you experienced, then go ahead and comment that down below. It would be nice to see what you guys have to say. So finally, if you like watching my videos and learning more about neurodiversity, then please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when I post my next video. So as always, stay Rachelistic, or whatever your name is, istic, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.